Well, good evening, everybody. It's the first night of transition to being a freshman, so exciting stuff gonna happen. Not a whole lot of mine to talk about, but thank you for being here and how much I enjoy meeting everybody. I wish I would have had these conversations before years, and this is fun. It's been a fun year, even though I have no idea what some of the last look like at all. But so tonight is going to be all about scheduling for next year and taking your classes. And I know we're kind of on a time crunch because we can go to where we social distance. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jackson, the first principal.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. So with band in high school, just as it is in middle school, it's not just an extracurricular, right? It's a co-curricular. So with band and jazz band, which we're going to talk about, meet obviously during the day, but they don't just start there. They start with band camp in the summer. So just real quick, an overview. So we have the Laker Gold Pride Marching Band, the Flag Line Concert Band, PB Jazz, and then we got the jazz combo and some small ensembles. So tonight, and right now I'm going to talk about not just my folks that are in band right now as an 8th grader, but maybe you were in band as a 5th grader, 6th grader, and want to give it a try again, or have you never done it before and you want to join the team. So first I'm going to start with the marching band. It's the most visible of our whole program, performs frequently in the fall, parades, band shows, in pre-COVID years. This past season, we still had some fun at our football games and our playoff games. We tour around, and we're going to hear about some band travel later on. Asa is going to talk about Cedar Point, Kings Island, all these fun places we go to. And then we continue in the springtime with the Memorial Day Parade. Now, to be in marching band, you have to be signed up for 10th period band. So when you see your form, it's going to say, I believe it just says band, right, Mr. Brown? It's just going to say band, but that includes, what's that? jazz band and band, two separate options. So when you sign and select band, it signs you up for marching band as well as concert band, which we're going to get to here in just a moment. But band starts with band camp in late summer, late July and August. We have band camp here at PB, and we do a lot of fun shows that you can see in there. This past year we did a Lady Gaga Elton John mashup. This year's show is going to be very exciting. Really looking forward to it. And band camp is a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. And we also work heavily with our athletes. I got kids that are coming from soccer, at 10 o'clock, or they're for me for a while, then they go to golf, or they're always going back and forth. So if you want to be involved with everything, you surely can. But just know that band is a commitment like your other activities, and but that we have a lot of fun. I'm going to ask Mason Summers to come on up and just say a few words about marching band specifically.
So hi, I'm Mason. I'm a sophomore. I play trumpet, and one of the things I like about band camp is that you just get to hang out with all your friends ahead of time. Like, it's probably one of the best experiences you'll ever have in high school. It's also a good chance to meet people ahead of time, get ahead of the curve, because that first day when you get in high school, it's a little scary because you don't know anyone right away. But band camp is a good way to get to know people before you go to high school. So,
Thanks, Mason. Yeah, give it up. All right. So band is not just, so let's say you don't play an instrument right now, but you're like, I think I still want to be a part of it. And so some new opportunities that we have is our flag line that Mrs. Brown, your choir director now, oversees in high school. You still must be registered for 10th period band this year, at least the first semester. So you'll see, and we could talk about, there's 2 semesters really that you can do, but you have to at least be signed up for the first semester to be in the flag line. Audition will be held in April, okay? So if this is something you think you want to do, still put that on there, and then if we find out you don't make it, or you don't put it on there and you do make it, then we'll work that scheduling out. This fall, it's exciting. We're introducing majorettes and an opportunity for them to join the marching band. So if there are any twirlers, majorettes can audition. We got new uniforms 2 years ago, not only the flag line, but also in the marching band. All right, and the last thing I'm going to say about marching band is it is a place for everyone. I'm very proud to say that in the marching band, every student who's in every different sport that we offer in PB is involved. Every activity is represented in the marching band. We start again in the summer, and we continue about till the end of October. But band is a family, and we have a lot of fun. And on non-COVID years, we have even more fun, but this past year we had as much fun as we could. All right? So marching band again, and 10th period band. We're going to move on to concert band. This will be a little bit familiar to most of you who have been in the band program with me. It's just like middle school band, but it's better. So this, again, is 10th period, and it just really switches over to when marching band ends. So let's say if you're thinking, I really want to be, a majorette or a flag line member, but I don't play an instrument. Well, I still need to be in 10th period band, and how is that going to work? Well, we'll work something out, but it will be, we prepare a Christmas concert as well as annual spring concerts. Looking forward to some new exciting opportunities coming up in the future. And like I said, it's like middle school band, but it's better. You're playing with people who've been playing some 8 years, and we could play some really challenging music and really exciting music. And I'm going to have Grace come up and talk about concert band.
Hi, like Mr. Jack said, my name's Grace. I'm a sophomore, and I play the French horn in concert band. I play the trumpet in marching band. So the concert band, like you said, it's a lot similar to if you guys are in band now, but you don't have to know how to play an instrument to join. A lot of people, they have never played an instrument before, or they just pick up a new instrument. Like I learned to play the French horn for concert band, and it's kind of less if you're worried that marching band might be too much to do, concert band is more just chilling. So, yeah, they're both really fun. And like Mason said, band is like probably one of the best experiences you can have in high school. It's a great way to meet people like outside of your grade. And yeah.
Great. Yeah. All right. All right, and let's move on to one of our final groups, and that is the PV Jazz. This is it'll be jazz band on the schedule, and it rehearses ninth period. You must be in jazz band, or excuse me, you must be in 10th period band if you want to be in jazz band. This is our elite ensemble here. You can see some great photos from this past basketball season. Mr. Jason Jewett there on guitar, rocking out. He joined us this year. It was really exciting. So again, you must be signed up for 10th period band. This is an auditioned ensemble. Again, in April, we'll hold those auditions. And if you don't get in, we'll change your schedule. But if you do, and we'll make sure that it works out. We perform a variety of music and the core instrumentation. This is sort of exciting. So let's say you play clarinet or flute. In concert band, we've always wanted to try a different instrument, maybe a saxophone or guitar or whatever. So those are the core instrumentation of jazz band, alto, tenor, bari, sax, trumpet, trombone, drum set. Jason has joined us on guitar this year. It's the first year I've had guitar in all 4 years. And Jason never read music at all, right? No. And so a little help from Mr. Dine, and we're doing it, and it's awesome. So lots of opportunity there in the jazz band to try new things. We travel a lot. Some people think we're just there for the boys and girls basketball games. We do a lot of that, but also a lot more. I'm going to have Trevor come up and talk about the jazz.
All right, so I'm Trevor. I'm in 11th grade. I've been playing drums for a long time. And like Mr. Dyke said, jazz band, it's ninth period. And it's an all-year class. It doesn't really, like, switch off. But let me tell you, it's one of the only classes that is all year and never gets boring. You're always doing something new. You're always doing something entertaining. And no matter what kind of music you like, you always have something to learn and improve on yourself. One thing I'd like to say about Mr. Dye is no matter what instrument you play, you're gonna learn. You're gonna grow in that instrument and in that area because he knows a lot about pretty much every instrument in that group. And so like I said, band is not, I mean, it's a class, it's an experience, but when we get in that room and make music, we are family. I mean, I treat everyone in that room as my friend, and a lot of them I treat just like my family. So that band is amazing.
Thanks, Trevor. Great. And the last thing I'll say about jazz band that I'm pretty proud of this saying that I've created. I call them the musical ambassadors to the community. This is a group that is always, on normal years, we're always out and about. Some photos here. This was this past year at homecoming. We set up a jazz combo on the track. We're at the community Thanksgiving dinner. One of my favorite events here is annually when we would go to the nursing home and play. And just some really exciting opportunities that the jazz band gets to do and to go out and represent TV. So it's just a great ensemble and really great to be a part of. Okay. I'm going to ask Asa to come up and talk a little bit about traveling.
Hi, my name is Asa Cross, and I play alto sax and bass sax. And one of my favorite things about band is last year we went on a band trip, and Mr. Guy is really good at picking places to go. Like, he never picks us a bad place to go. So we went on, like, a trip around Ohio, and if you've been on, like, the middle school trip, it's like those. But, like, we went to, like, Kings Island and, like, a bunch of museums and stuff, and it was just, like, really fun. But also, besides that, we also were talking about how, like, different, like, parts of the band, like the marching band and stuff, travels, and like you said, like the jazz band and stuff, like we go to band shows and stuff at other schools, and that's really fun. Like, I really love band shows. So that's like another reason to go to band, just because it's so fun. We get to go to all these cool places.
All right. So we have a great time. This is one of my favorite photos. Here we're playing in front of the State House last fall, and just was a fantastic experience. So music can change the world because it can change people. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Join the band. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Gentlemen, agriculture, education, instructor, along with the secretary. I'd like to for the officers today to talk to you guys about what their experience in that business has been. For those of you that don't know, FFA is a intra-curricular activity. So not only are you in the classroom learning about agriculture and how we can be advocates for the agriculture industry, but we are also a student organization run by the students. They really take care of all aspects. I just give them guidance. They don't always like my guidance, but I give them guidance. We plan on failing, and then we go through up and correct what we're doing, and we move forward. So the first thing to do is they're going to tell you today about the different aspects of the ed class and the experiences that you may enjoy, may encounter with being part of the class.
For the first aspect, obviously, most of the time, as young people, we are at school. So welcome Maria Stringfellow to talk about the actual classwork and the actual things that we do in class. Maria? All right, thank you.
The actual process that we have you guys will learn about circus breeds animals and how they would work to do this. And then as you guys move up, you'll start to go and do the complex and we also do a lot of SAE. I take that as pretty better. And we have a couple of things for exams and stuff and stuff like that. And it's really cool what we do. Everything that we do is really good. Right? Here's Dr. Amber.
All right, thank you. Now, another thing is when you become a sophomore, or at the end of your freshman year, you can apply to become an officer, like us for. And that will get you more involved. Here is Ellie Struna to talk about officers.
Thank you, Amber. So I am the mainline reporter, and as reporter, I run on Instagram, and I am able to print data. So this is coming up because it's fun. We get to do things like this. But no, just a good experience and cool new fit. Yeah, okay, if you look right here, this kid's wearing a really cool corduroy jacket. I mean, it feels like you're wearing cardboard, but it's fine. You get some cool slacks, shiny shoes. I think it's cool. Also, you get to go to proclamation. Here's our yeah. We also get to have Mexican. So, if I haven't told you yet on being an officer, I will now. You can go to National Convention, which is well, it was in Indianapolis. You get the Cheesecake Factory, you get to stay at a cool hotel with a pool, and you get to meet people from all over the nation, and you get to go to this really good convention or a cool study tour. You can spend all that time. That's just an experience.
Thank you, Ellie. Now, another thing that you can do is work. Do any of you have a job? Okay, well, maybe one day you will. So, if you're in FFA all 4 years, you can be in co-op. And here is Alexis Mason to talk about that.
Hi guys. Hey, so I've been for FFA for 4 years. I'm pretty co-op with hands-on. You 15 a week. Split up the first period, and then honestly, it helped me learn how to schedule a balance work schedule and school schedule. So I would honestly recommend it, and I don't regret ever doing it.
Thank you, Alexis. Now, the biggest and the best part of being at FFA are all of the activities that we do. Okay, so behind me you'll see this long list of activities. And you might think, is that all? No, that is not all. But here's some examples of things that we do. So, have any of you ever been to Peek and Peek? Cool. Okay, well this year we went tubing there and it was so much fun. It was on Valentine's Day, so that was a good day. We also host the Teachers Day where we celebrate the teachers because they teach us and we appreciate that. So we had to come in really early, but we made breakfast and then actually we're gonna eat some of it too, so that was good. So here's some more pictures.
This year, we have to keep on going for their events, but kind of get up and run it and see and we did that last year.
Yeah, before COVID we all did that.
We can really try it pretty hard.
So, does anybody have any questions before I wrap this up? Any questions at all? Okay, well, it's really important that when you're in high school, it might seem scary, but you do want to get involved, and being an FFA is a great way to meet friends. And even if you're not an FFA, make sure you join some sort of club. Otherwise, it's really hard to make friends because you only get a split class. So some skills that you can do being an FFA are leadership, the ability to work in an environment with people, whether you love or hate them, new friends from all over, and new experiences that you would not get anywhere else. Any questions now? Anything at all? Okay, thank you.
One last thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is we do a lot with public speaking. And you can tell that these kids were sitting in your seats 3 and 4 years ago. And they were scared to death to get up here and speak in front of a group of people. But we practice in the class frequently, giving speeches, talking in front of people, so that someday you get over that fear just like they got. If you would have asked them 4 years ago or 3 years ago if they would have ever thought they could stand up here and talk in front of a group of people, I would guess that most of them, besides Amber, who could talk in front of anybody at any time, would be scared to death to get up here and do that. So that's just another one of the leadership things that we teach you throughout your time here with us. We'll be around afterwards if you guys have any questions, if you want to pick their brains. Thank you.
Good evening, guys. So I'm Jason. I'm a senior in high school. I'm in show choir and choir and whatnot. Um, so show choir is an amazing class that it's the fourth period class, and you get to sing from there. It's a great way to meet new people from different grades, um, and it's just a really fun experience that you have to try out for it before or at the end of the school year, and then you get in or be on the schedule, put it down, and get in. So it's really fun. And then you can also do choir if you don't do English show choir, which is the same thing, but you don't dance, you just sing in front of other people, with your classmates, your concerts and whatnot. And it's a really great experience as well.
I'm Jenna. I've been in show choir for 3 years. I'm a senior, and my favorite part about show choir is like my schedule is super full, super hard classes, but I always look forward to show choir because I know that like that's like a fun like break, I guess for me. Not necessarily like a break of stuff, but it's fun to feel weird rather than to like do that.
I'm Anthony. I already I'm a couple. Basically, what I like about stuff like this is that it's just a blast. I live for local to try out mine, freshman, but I'm so glad. So you get to meet so many cool people. And like this year, we're learning for one of our dances, learning karate. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Another thing is the show choir. A lot of our members are seniors right now, so there's going to be a lot more openings next year. After you're all going to graduate. So there's going to be a lot more openings. We really need guys. So guys don't know that you might think that show choir is something that you might not want to do. But one of the guys in there so it's like a team sport. So you can still do sports and show choir and still have fun with it. So it's not just
Hey, good evening, everybody. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay, first of all, I want to welcome those of you who are watching the live stream, and I don't want to forget to mention you, because once I get rolling with this, I probably will forget. For those of you who are our Edgenuity and remote learners, whether you're here or you're watching at home, I sent a Google form that is basically this, what I'm holding, the schedule registration form. So if you're an Edgenuity learner, please check your email, look for this form, and you can just make your selections and submit it to me. And I just need that by Tuesday, okay? So if you've got this in Google Forms, please look it over and make the selections as you would on this sheet right here. For those of you, I know we have a couple who are working from home this year, the Edgenuity learners that are here. If you fill this out, you can just disregard that Google form, okay? If you are here. You can turn this in, and I will need that Google form. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here. Really looking forward to having you guys over to high school next year. So I'm going to take no more than maybe 5 minutes to go through this. As freshmen, you are locked into 6 different classes, and I'll explain that real quickly. You're going to have your 4 core classes, your English, math, science, and history. You will have a semester health and gym, first semester health, first semester gym, and then you guys will also have a study hall during the day where some science labs are going to be tied into that. Okay, 1 day a week we'll have a study hall with a science lab. So that will represent one of your study halls. Okay, so because we have 10 periods in the day, actually I tell students that's more like 8. You have periods 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 5, 6, and 7 all make up the lunch period. Okay? One of those 3 periods is lunch, the other 2 periods will be that class. And then period 8, 9, 10. So even though you're going to see 10 periods, it's really 8 o'clock. Okay? So you're locked into 6 of those months. What classes you help them do in study home? That gives you 2 elective classes. Okay? And then you're going to rank them tonight 1 to 4, with 1 and 2 being your preferences and highest priority. Okay? And as I go through these, I will field some questions at the end. But like I said, it's not too difficult to memorize schedule because you're locked into certain times. So your elective choices are really limited until you further up in the page. Okay? I will say this, again, freshman orientation in August. I do my absolute very best to get you choices 1 and 2 as you rank these. But there are times, things out of my control, things out of our control, that I got to look at maybe 3 and 4. Okay? That's rare, and that's why I do this 4. The maybe for some reason I'm interested into one of your first and fourth. Okay? One of the reasons it takes a while to do it, 3 months to schedule it, is because I look at everybody's schedule. I try my darndest to get the choices 1 and 2. Okay? So without further hesitation, I'll let your mind feel and give you a few minutes to get these filled out and send that to myself and Mr. Chairman. Okay? You still hear me okay? All right. So you're going to see English, you have 2 choices, regular English or honors English. The requirement for the honors English, you're welcome to sign up for it. It's a challenge. Just know that on the state test later this year, you have to have a proficient score, okay? So if you sign up for honors English and you see your schedule in August, you didn't get it, that's because you didn't meet that threshold for proficiency, okay? And that's the exact same thing if you go over to the other side, the world studies. 2 options, regular world studies and honors world studies. The requirement to get into the honors is the same as to get into the E, okay? We're looking for that proficient score or higher on the state test, okay? Science and math are simple. Not a lot of thought here. If you are in physical science this year as an 8th grade, if you're getting that high school credit in physical science, your next step up is biology. You're going to select biology. If you're in algebra 1, you're going to select geometry, okay? If you are in regular science 8, math 8, then you're going to pick physical science as your science choice, and then algebra as your math choice, okay? So, any questions about the 4 classes before I jump down to the electives? Again, if you're enrolled in physical science this year, you check biology. Otherwise, you select physical science. If you're in algebra this year, pick geometry. Otherwise, pick algebra, okay? And then you'll see health and beauty check there, and you're locked into that, those particular classes. All right, coming down to the electives. Spanish 1 speaks for itself. I don't got to go to each there. I'm gonna just echo with Ag 1, Mr. Nazaro and his group had to say. You do have to get to Ag Ed at least that 3rd year if you want to qualify for the co-op program. So here's what you're thinking, hey, by the time I'm 17 years old, I want to be out there working full time. Okay, I want to be. You have to be, if you want to do that, get out of school that day. You do have to get up to the 3rd year of Ag Ed. So think about that now. If that's something that's on your mind to do, okay? There are requirements in that program, 25 hours a week in good standing to work. So just think about that now. You know what, by the time I get to 11th grade, I want to be working, I want to be out there making money, okay? Mr. Jackson went over the PD Productions elective, and then over on the right-hand side, you're going to see 2 career technical electives. Basic industrial arts is a jump-based class, woodworking, that kind of stuff, working on machines. Buildings and grounds is a course where you guys are outside when it's nice, doing some inside stuff during the winter months, but they do some landscaping, some trail fixing, things like that. It's really good support in maintaining the exterior of the building, making sure the landscaping looks nice inside. We kind of introducing some concepts like, how does the air conditioning stuff, how does the rear depth class remain? Okay. And then your fine arts, the band and the show choir, the announcement, drop, and air forces. I don't really have to expand on those. And then part one, pretty simple. Okay. So I've taken about 5 minutes or so to kind of give you a brief version of those courses. Does anyone have questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions, why don't you take about these last 8, 9 minutes or so, get them filled out. You can once they're signed, you can turn them into Mrs. Jernigan. Okay, we'll collect them. Now listen up real quickly. Since we have a little bit less time this year than we have in the past, if you decide to take these home and just think, what, I'm really torn between this or this, that's perfectly fine. Just please make sure to get them to Miss Jernigan by Tuesday. Okay. So if you choose to take this home tonight, you guys don't have school tomorrow. Please make sure to have this to her either Monday or Tuesday with the parent signature on it. Okay. Otherwise, if you do make your selection tonight, get it signed, you can turn them in and head on out to the door. Thank you all for coming. No, Mr. Brown is still an art teacher over in high school. He's been there about 30 years now almost. Yep, he's still there. Yep, that's him now.
evening, everyone. Typically, I would be down on the ground, but we're live streaming this on Facebook for any families that can't come, and this is our audio for that. So we're going to try and stand close to this microphone so they can pick up our audio. But thank you for coming. This is the first step in transitioning from the middle school into the high school for freshman scheduling. And we have many guests with us tonight to really talk about some of the electives that you can choose. And we're going to start it off just with Mr. Jackson, because really this isn't about the middle school anymore. This is moving on to the high school. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jackson, who will kind of MC us for the rest of the evening. And thank you for coming. I know you'll do this. Speak, okay?
Just be right by this microphone, she said. I guess it's important because we are live streaming. Everyone say hi to our folks back home. I have to be, I'm told by this microphone so everybody can hear me, but I will be brief this evening. I'll be sort of providing some interlude whenever we're in between groups about some other groups that we have available. But frankly, I'll be talking to you in August more about things like, student handbook and what to wear on the first day and what to expect. And later this year, we'll do tours whenever you can see what the school looks like, whenever folks are in it. In addition to, the tour that we do for freshman orientation and all those kind of things in August. But tonight is really just about your schedule, making sure that you're placed into classes that you're comfortable with, have a desire to learn about. I'll be honest, you don't have a ton of room in your schedule for electives. We have quite a few freshman classes that are required by state law, that the way they fall into our curriculum, it's front loaded. And so right off the bat, you're taking 5 classes that we know these are the 5 classes you're going to take, and might be honors, might be normal or whatever. But Mr. Brown will get to all that information, and you'll hear from some of those groups here in a little bit. What I would encourage you to think about at this point is not only, of course, the scheduling of the classes you're going to do tonight, but how are you going to be involved? That is by far the most important aspect of high school, is getting involved not only in your classwork, but also in your other activities. When you are involved in your other activities, you will find that your classwork actually improves. You would think it'd be opposite because you're spending more time on some of those other things, but it's about building relationships. It's about learning some of those social skills that come with those clubs or activities, and they'll talk to you about that a little bit here too as well. What I'd like you to make sure that you do is, as the year finishes out here for my students who are in 8th grade, we'll be sending over coaches. We'll be sending over groups like this to talk to you tonight. Learn about those clubs, learn about those organizations, find out if that is in fact for you. Over the summer, this is probably more of a parents thing, but also students, check your emails regularly. Make sure that you're on the school list. Make sure you're checking Facebook. Make sure you're checking the website. When that phone rings and it's that school number calling you again, and it's like, oh, what do they want this time? It may be to let you know that there is a practice starting for the organization that your kid wants to be in. So make sure we pick that up and learn about that as that happens, okay? I'm a parent too. I get it. When the phone rings, you're like, all right, what's the automated message now? So I just please pick up the phone so that you can find out about those practices, okay? So with that being said, get involved, learn about what you want to do in your schedule tonight, and they'll have more information. So I'm going to turn it over to FFA, who's going to lead us off.
Well, I don't know how to use those videos. My name is Mr. Muzar. I teach the Ag Education class, which is an intercurricular class that involves FFA. FFA is a student-run organization run by the students. I brought 4 of our officers today. They're going to talk to you briefly about what is all involved. Another thing that we stress and we work on is public speaking, so that when you're sitting there in your seats today thinking, oh my gosh, I could never get up in front of a group of people and talk to them. These 4 girls thought the same thing, and they're going to stand up here tonight and talk to you guys. Being an intracurricular class, we do a lot of things in the shop. We do a lot of public speaking, and we also learn about agriculture, whether it's animals, crops,
or anything in between. We learn to be advocates for the agriculture industry because, as we all know, none of us could live without agriculture. Whether it's our food or our clothing, everything starts with agriculture. And you don't have to be from a farm to be part of FFA. And Amber is going to be the prime example to share her experience of how she had no experience with agriculture prior to coming in ninth grade. And here she is today being an advocate for the agriculture industry.
Hello, my name is Amber Fuzzle. I was born in Youngstown, Ohio. I grew up in Boardman, Ohio, and then I moved here because my dad wanted land. He didn't know anything about farming though, so we weren't ever like farming. We just had like a little bit more land than we did when we lived in Boardman. So then, when I was sitting in your seats, Katie Stokes, who graduated 5 years ago, gave a speech just like what we're doing today, and then she encouraged me to join. Thank you. So, how many of you are farmers? How many of you aren't farmers? How many of you are farmers? Okay, let's start the slideshow.
I'm my name is Rachel. I'm the junior president here. Talk to you about our actual chapter. Once you guys are freshmen, you guys are basically just learning about the diversity stuff with animals and breed, just really basic stuff. Then as you guys get to do sophomores and juniors, you get to weld and then get to do palette projects, basically anything you want after you have your time. And then like outside classwork, I would say enables you to be able to be involved in FAE. I take a market year to FA. I would say we have a lot of people, we have some people who say land, and I think it's very good. So it really just enables you, and even if you think that like you can't raise a cow, not everybody's able to raise cows, you can still raise ducks and chickens and stuff very easily. And we do put towards the college fund, and you guys will be driving in a couple of years too, so it's really helpful to have that money to get from the family and stuff like that.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about being an officer. I am our mainline reporter. So as a reporter, I like run our Instagram and I keep social media up to date on what we're doing. Like right now in class, we're preparing for our banquet, which will induct in new officers. So once you are a sophomore, you can become an officer. We all ran for offices our sophomore year, and I highly recommend it. It's very fun. You get to go to many different activities, and the best trips that we go on are to state convention and national convention. We get to go to Indianapolis, where it was a couple of years ago. It changes depending on, but that's where it probably will be. When you go to Indianapolis, you get to go to the national. There's like this huge convention hall, and there's so many different opportunities to meet so many new people. You can meet people from Puerto Rico, Washington, all over, like every single corner. They all come here. You also can spend a lot of money on just random stuff, so that's fun. And we go to the Cheesecake Factory, and that's very delicious. And our hotel has a pool, so that's fun.
Amber has chosen cool new fit. If you look closely, hard to see, but you can wear a really cute corduroy jacket. It's dark blue, lovely yellow embroidery, and some nice slacks and tiny shoes. It looks uncomfortable, but it comes. You feel really cool once you're in it.
So join us at Faye.
My name is Alexis Mason. I am a senior. I am involved in co-op. So this is UFCD and FFA for 3 years. And once you get to actually your third year, you can leave after, I think, the third lunch, which is 12:05, and you can go to work. This actually helped me a lot to balance my school schedule and my work schedule. I would recommend doing it. I wouldn't change what I've done. This is my first year, but I wish I would have done my junior year as well. So you have to have 25 hours a week, and I work at Chloe Auto Parts in Andover. Right now I get to leave after 4 periods, which is 10:45. But honestly, it's the best decision that I've made, and I just can do it.
We'll get around the book and sit down here and we have questions about it. What is it called? Mr. Guy.
So, hi, my name is Mason Summers. I'm a sophomore, um, and we're here to talk about show choir. One of the things that I like about show choir is that it's it's really fun. It feels like everyone there is a family, and what we do is at the end of every year we have tryouts for people to join show choir, and it's yeah, it's fun. It just feels like a family, you know. Like, yeah.
I'm Jenna. I'm a senior. I've been in show choir for 3 years, and my favorite part about show choir is like the class of show choir is fun for me, and my schedule is super busy and full of not fun classes. But I look forward to show choir because that gives me like a break to do something fun that I like doing, which is like singing and dancing. And we do lots of fun things like our dances are completely all over the place. Like, for example, this year we're learning karate for a dance, and we've danced with umbrellas and candy canes, and we do like partner dances, just a whole bunch of different things. Super fun. Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Jason. I'm a senior and I've been in show choir for 4 years. So as these two have mentioned, show choir is really fun. I love it, and like they have also said, it's a great sense of family. Um, you also get to meet people from other grades and get to be friends with them. That way, when you go into high school as a freshman, uh, you'll know upperclassmen and stuff, and you'll just feel a little bit more comfortable. Another thing is um, we need people for show choir. A large portion of us, we are seniors, so we're going to be graduating. So that means there's going to be a lot of open spots for people to try out, and we also need guys. Guys, don't be nervous about show choir. One of a football player is in show choir, so like it's for everybody. And one of the guys that graduated last year, he wasn't in show choir, and he said that his biggest regret of his high school career was not being in show choir. So take that into consideration. You'll have a lot of fun. You also have to audition for it, which that'll be a little tricky, but the seniors will be around towards the end of this year to help teach you guys moves and get you guys off to a good start. But take take into consideration show choir. It's really great. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Tracy. Just to be clear, Mr. Dodd doesn't teach show choir. Mrs. Brown does. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask her. All right, so I'm going to briefly go over the opportunities that you will have to be in band in high school. Not just for my current students are in band, but maybe you're in band in 5th and 6th grade, and for some reason or another, you're not in now, but you want to. Or every year I have students that join band as freshmen for the first time who have never been a part of it. So there's a lot of great ensembles that you can be a part of. The first and the most visible of them is the Laker Gold Pride Marching Band. We perform, of course, in all of the home and usually away football games. We have parades, band shows, and a lot of community events, I would say in non-COVID years. We tour around, and you'll hear about that a little bit later. And then we also represent the school in the Memorial Day parade. Marching band, you'll need to sign up. It'll just say band on the schedule. That's 10th period. And like I said, it'll say band, and marching band will be in the fall, and then concert band we'll see later in the spring. We do a lot of great shows, but then we also start not just when the school year is, we have band camp in the summer. Mason's going to come up and just share a little bit about that.
Hi, my name's Mason. One of the things I like about band camp is that it's a great way to meet new people. Like next year, you're all going to be freshmen, and you might not know many people in the high school, but band camp is a little bit earlier in the school year, so it gives you a chance to meet new people ahead of time, and it's just a really great time. You know. Thank you.
Thanks, Mason. One exciting opportunity that, let's say you don't play an instrument, but you would be really interested in being in the marching band. You can audition for the flag line. Again, you'll have to be registered for band at least the first semester. Okay. Auditions will be held in April, and we'll also be adding majorettes. So, if you have some experience in that field and you can do that, we would love to have you out for that. And the last thing I'll say about marching band is that it really is a place for everyone. I'm proud to say in this picture alone that I have students represented in every fall, winter, spring sport, all the clubs and activities. So I get the challenge of putting everyone together and to making music. And it's a really great, fun time. When marching band is done, we move on to concert band, which is band like we have it now, just like we have in 8th grade, but it's better. Okay, you're playing with students who've been playing their instruments up for 8 years. Again, this will be that 10th period registration slot you see band on your schedule. And this is our core group of band kids. Grace is going to come up and share something about concert band.
Hi, my name is Grace. I play the trumpet in marching band, the French horn and concert band. So concert band's really great because you don't have to really know an instrument. It's like a great time to get involved, especially when you're just coming in as a freshman. You can just take it for half a year, right? That hasn't changed. Cool. And so it's just really fun. We play some really challenging songs, but it's really rewarding. And it's a great way to get involved. And if you join, Mr. Dye might play the bagpipes for you. So that's pretty entertaining.
I wouldn't sound very good.
No.
Thanks, Grace. Grace. Just to be clear, so you could do it as a semester. So let's say you wanted to audition, for example, for the flag line, but you might not play an instrument. We would work that out in your schedule. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask Mr. Brown or myself. And let's move on to PV Jazz. The fun people who wear black t-shirts all the time, the elite ensemble of the band program. We got Mr. Jason Jewett there rocking out on guitar. He joined us for the first time this year, and we just have a great time. This will be 9th period in your schedule. You have to also be registered for the band class if you want to be in PV Jazz. This is an audition group. Auditions will be when we get back after spring break, and I'll make sure you get the music well before then. But we do not just jazz or swing, but we do rock, Latin, all kinds of musical genres that we play. This is an exciting thing that, let's say you play clarinet or flute in concert band currently, and you've always wanted to try something different. Jazz band instrumentation are listed there, and you can try and pick up a new instrument. Not only do we perform at the home boys and girls basketball games, but we also travel around to lots of different events. I like to call the jazz band the musical ambassadors to the community. Here we are on the track before the homecoming ceremony, a little jazz combo, community Thanksgiving dinner. One of my favorite experiences we do is go to the nursing home and play. Of course, I'm not COVID years. But they get out and they're visible and just bring music to our community. And Trevor, you're on.
All right, so I'm Trevor. I have been in band for a long time. Jazz is my favorite. I've been playing drums for like borderline too long. But so one thing I want to talk to you, most of the guys have already covered it. Band is fun, it's a good opportunity to meet people. But if I look around, there's a lot of drummers in here. A lot of you are missing great players. But for band, you do not need to play one certain instrument. You can always learn, you can always grow. You have a band director that knows so many different instruments. It's insane, and he's always going to teach you. So just come out, be a part of the jazz band.
Thank you, Trevor. And the last thing we're going to present on is band travel, which I think is the coolest part of being in band. Here's Asa.
Hi, my name is April, and I play alto sax and bari sax. But when the band travels, like my best memory of the band comes from like our traveling. And so, Mr. Guy plans like really fun band trips. And he never picks like somewhere like just like boring. We always feel like so much fun. We went to Kings Island, and some of you might have like gone with him to like Waterman stuff. And so our Kings Island trip, it was like if you've ever been on like the middle school trip, it's basically like that, and they're just like really fun. But also we traveled like on like day trips to like other band shows and stuff. And so it's just like really fun, and it's like my best memories come from that. So I really suggest the band. So it's just really fun.
So just lots of great fun memories and experience of band travel. My first year we went to Cedar Point. Of course, last year we went to the Ohio trip. And this spring we were planning something. So hopefully we'll reschedule that. Last thing I'll say is that music can change the world because it can change people. I've had the opportunity the past 4 years to have a large number of students in the band program, and it continues to grow. A band is a family, and I'll say that time and time again. So thank you very much, and consider being part of the band.
All right, get back up here by my microphone so that the folks at home can hear. But when you are having an opportunity here to talk to Mr. Brown shortly, he's going to give you your actual registration paper so that you have that in front of you. He'll go over the English, the math, the science, the social studies. You'll take a look at some of the electives. He'll make sure that you understand what each one of those are. You've heard from our ag folks. You've heard from show choir. You've heard from band. There's one other group on that paper that I want to make sure that I specifically address with you. That is our PV Productions group. PV Productions will be a new program at the high school next year. It's something fun that we're looking forward to. I believe you have Mr. Wadega who does PVTV here. They are going to do our TV production next year, but they're going to be sort of the TV production plus. They are going to have a role in helping to plan upcoming activities. They are going to be planning things like pep rallies, spirit weeks. They will also be responsible for putting signage out and really trying to push school pride in general. So want to make sure that everybody knows that is a group that we're looking to get wide representation on. It's not just upperclassmen. We're going to need freshmen. We're going to need our folks who are in athletics. We're going to need our folks who are in fine arts. We're going to need our folks who are in ag. We're going to need our A students. We're going to need our students who work their butts off to get C's and D's. And so we need all sorts of different students involved in that so that that group can be representative and try to make sure that they're providing as much of a positive experience at the high school as they can. So please keep that in mind. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure that you take a look at that PV Productions box and number that one accordingly. Okay? Without further ado, I will give the stage to Mr. Brown. He's the last person you're going to hear from tonight before you get those papers in hand to take a look at it and sign up for those classes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Can everybody hear me? Okay. While the forms are being passed out by Mrs. Jernigan and Mrs. Tish, I just want to make a real quick announcement to those folks who are watching the live stream at home and the Edgenuity students who are here. For the online learners this year, earlier this morning, I emailed a Google form. That's basically what is being passed out right now. If you're an Edgenuity student and you're here and you get this filled out tonight, you can disregard the Google form. If you are an Edgenuity student at home, you're not here tonight, please check your email for this form. It's basically what it's on this sheet. You'll just go through these classes, make a selection math, make a selection English, history, science, and then electives, and just submit it to me, okay? It's real simple. The form is very student-friendly. And please know that I need that by Tuesday, okay? If you are an Edgenuity student and you are watching this from from home, okay? So does everybody have a registration form? Okay, I'm just going to take a moment very quickly to go over the core subjects, and then I'll hit on the electives very briefly. A lot of them have been touched upon tonight, so I don't got to spend too much time. Honestly, I should be done with this presentation here in a couple of minutes. So looking up top at the core classes, I'm going to start with the English on one side and the world history on the other side. You'll see an honors and a regular option for both those subjects. You are certainly welcome and even encouraged if you feel like you can handle the challenge of the honors classes, okay? But please know that the requirement to get into the honors class is that you score proficient on the state test later this year, on the English state test later this year, okay? So if you select the honors option and you get your schedule in the fall and it's a regular class, that means you just didn't hit the benchmark to get into that class, okay? Again, you're welcome to sign up for it. Just know there's that requirement of scoring proficient on the English state test later this year, okay? Now, let's look in the middle at the math and science. This is a pretty easy selection. Starting with the science. If you are in physical science this year for high school credit, you're going to select biology, okay? If you're in Science 8, you're going to select physical science, okay? Moving over to the math. If you are in Algebra 1 this year for high school credit, you're going to select geometry. If you're in Math 8, you're going to select algebra, okay? So you know based on what math and science you're in this year, which selection you're going to make, okay? Algebra this year, select geometry for next year. Physical science this year, select biology for next year, okay? Okay, for those folks who are watching on the live stream, if you have questions about which math and science you're in this year, just do your very best. Make a selection, but ultimately understand that we will cross-reference the lists of kids who are in algebra and physical science this year, and don't worry, you will be placed in the appropriate science and math section next year. Okay. Very last thing up top with the core classes is. Per state requirement, you have a semester of health and a semester of PE2. That will round out your core classes, okay? Let me just real quickly just kind of emphasize what the day looks like at the high school. We have 10 periods, but it's really 8 slots. What I mean by that is you have periods 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5, 6, and 7 all constitute the lunch period, okay? One of those periods will be lunch. The other will be the class that lunch is built around. All right. So even though it says periods 5, 6, and 7, that's going to be one class plus lunch. Okay. And then 8, 9, and 10. So again, you're going to have 8 slots for the day. You're locked into 6 of those slots. You got your 4 core classes, your English, math, science, and history. Okay. You have the health and gym, which is a slot. And then all of you will have a study hall on your schedule as well. That study hall will have some science labs tied into it. You'll come out of study hall one day a week to go into a science lab, okay? So there's your 6 locked-in classes. That leaves you with room for 2 electives during the day, okay? And you'll see the elective options at the bottom, all right? I ask you to pick 4, rank them 1 to 4, 1 being the one you want the most, and then down to 4. The reason I have you pick 4 is to be safe. I do my very best, and I think especially at the 9th grade, we're pretty successful at getting kids there 1 and 2, okay? But for whatever reason, sometimes things don't work out. It's rare, but there are times I need to look at 3 and maybe 4, okay? Because for whatever reason, something did not fit, all right? So please pick a 3rd and a 4th, like as alternates, knowing that I do my very best, and I look at everybody's schedule. One of the reasons it takes a long time to do this is because, once the schedules come out in May, I'll look at these forms and I'll look at how your schedule turned out. And I do my very best to say, okay, did they get 1 and 2? Okay. But to be on the safe side, please rank them 1 to 4 in case I have to look at an alternate selection. Okay. The electives were covered pretty well. Spanish one, that's pretty self-explanatory. Ag did a very nice spiel, talking about what they do. PV Productions, Mr. Jackson covered that very well. The fine arts over on the right-hand side, show choir, band, you heard about, what entails their classes. They did a very nice job explaining their classes. The ones I'll talk about are your career tech classes there. Buildings and grounds is a maintenance-based class where when the weather's nice, they try to get outside, do some landscaping, do some trail fixing, beautify the property a little bit. What does the property look like? How can we, what goes into working outside? What goes into working on the grounds of a property? Okay. In the colder months, they're doing some inside stuff like learning about HVAC, learning about electricity, things along those lines. Your basic industrial arts is a shop-based class. Okay, that's your woodworking. That's your getting on machines. That's your making stuff. Okay, buildings and grounds is more of a maintenance-based class. Basic industrial arts is a shop-based class. Okay, so I think I touched on all the electives. Does anybody have any questions about core classes or about electives? Okay, if not, we're going to give you the rest of the time here until 6:30 to get these filled out and signed. As I told the last group, if you're kind of torn and you want to take a little bit of time to think about this, that's fine. You can take it home. Students don't have school tomorrow, but please get it back to Mrs. Jernigan by Tuesday, okay? So you are welcome to take it home if you're kind of torn on an elective class. Please just get it back to her Monday or Tuesday. If you are ready and it's signed, you can turn it into her up there at the table and then have a fantastic night.